Hello everyone, this is Sebastian aka Scorbix for PokerVIP.com. Today I'm back with part 4 of this 4-part series playing on TonyBet. Yeah, I'm assuming you probably have checked out the other parts before watching this one. If you haven't, make sure to check out the other parts. I'm talking in depth about certain thing. I want to see what if my bad gut shots. I'm gonna actually make it $3. I think this kind of increases my fold equity here. We're also deeper. I would size up with my value here. This is a pretty marginal c-bet, but I think it's gonna be better than checking back. We're just gonna check back now, realize equity. Gonna bluff certain rivers like a king. Is the most obvious one. An ace and the king. Yeah, that's gonna be a bluff. He has ace-jack in range, he has ace-10 in range, he has ace-king in range, he has ace-queen in range, so but I'm assuming he will lead some of those hands for sure on the river. Which he probably shouldn't, because then I can't bluff such a hand, so not really a good lead for him. Also, like, if he's bluffing, it's not that good, because I have a lot of good hands that can easily call. Anyway, it's really not a good leading spot for him, on a card that hits my perceived range pretty good. Yeah, as said, if you haven't checked out the prior parts, make sure to do that. In those I'm talking a bit more about like the rake and rakeback on this side, which is obviously quite significant when choosing certain sides to play on. Today I'm gonna mainly talk about gameplay. The video will be around 35 minutes long, and we're gonna also try to analyze like other spots of like other racks and c-bet sizings, and generally not only c-bet sizings, but generally sizings post-flop and I guess pre-flop. Generally sizing is the topic. I started talking more and more about that like last part and a bit in the second part as well. Today I'm gonna try to focus on that again. This is super nutted. If he doesn't have the nuts, he's fucked. This is extremely nutted. If he has a bluff, I'm extremely surprised. I didn't see the whole hand, but just looking at the river action, this is extremely nutted. Like, this guy is in a world of trouble with a lot of hands. I guess, yeah. Let's see. Okay, makes the fold, probably a good fold. I didn't really see the action. I guess I could look at the hand history. But I'm assuming, yeah. This just the river action alone was super nutted. So on the prior days I was like always saying that like around 1 AM the games are kinda dead, only like 2 tables running. Currently it's 1 AM again and there are like way more tables running. So there are like 1, 2, 3, 4 tables of 25 in running. There were a few more running before. One table of 50 in running, mainly filled with racks though. Yeah. So definitely a decent bit of action today. Tomorrow will be like the first weekend I'm gonna play. Definitely looking forward to see like how the action is on the weekend. Yeah. Definitely interested in it. So we block the club and the deuce. Let's see. Still gonna go a lot of money in. Bet 6. So if he check raises, he once again extremely nutted. Easy defense with the pocket 8s. No real reason to 3-bet in these positions. We could, but it's like, I would rather calling to see a flop with my medium pairs here. Not the best flop. This guy is a pretty straightforward nitty ABC rack, so I'm just gonna assume he's gonna check down his underpairs and we're gonna just win. He could certainly bet hand like kings on the turn for value. And I don't expect him to ever bet the river as played. I mean, I guess he could have had like Jack 10 of clubs. That makes some sense. Yep, and we just win. And as I was assuming, he probably just had the underpair and was just, yeah, no, he just has king, jack high and doesn't bother to ever bluff me off my, you should definitely see with that flop with king, jack there. Pretty mandatory. You're gonna go for a 3-bet. With the 7-6 suitor, small blind versus button. Pretty marginal, but I'm 3-betting a ton in these positions. Because he's opening a lot and also folding a lot. He's not 4-betting a lot generally. Running to a 4-bet range is obviously extremely awful, but shouldn't really happen that often still. Usually we're going to see a call or a fold. Most of the time a fold. Yeah. The ace-4 gonna get opened, gonna get folded if someone 3-bets. Could consider to bluff 4-bet, but not really a fan of it. Let's see the other tables, or maybe there's like a better table running as well. No, I don't think so. I think those are already the best tables running right now. Okay, let's focus a bit here on sizings. Pots the turn, kind of interesting. So I guess he's c-bet and he calls and then he pots the turn. River should be... I don't know, it's interesting. So Rabel definitely should have a better range here. And J-Poker is in the world of trouble river hand like King, Jack, and Queen. And is probably gonna end up folding those. And Rabel is gonna have a somewhat hard time bluffing here. There certainly are hands he could have, like Queen 8 of spades, 7-6, 7-8. I guess it's not that hard to bluff here. But at the same time he has a ton of value hands, so J-Poker probably should fold a decent bit there. We can 3-bet or call here. I'm actually gonna... the problem is that I have been 3-betting him quite a bit, so I'm expecting to get a bit more resistance, but I'm still gonna 3-bet. This hand really plays poorly multi-way. For 3x I'm just gonna fold this. This is an extremely bad hand multi-way. And even closing the action there. We're not getting the best price ever, and yeah. Just a bad hand multi-way. Actually an awful hand multi-way. I guess not awful, I guess Jack 5 off would be worse, but yeah, Ace Jack. Doesn't bet turn or what? That's a definite turn bet with the Ace Jack. A7 off versus 3x open, just gonna be a fold. Pretty easy open with the Queen 10, easy fold with the Queen deuce, bottom left. Still not sure if I want to say like bottom left and so on. So this guy left, that's kind of bad. Because he was kind of, I guess this guy's not gonna sit me heads up a lot. I'm assuming he's gonna dip out soon. Not getting a ton of heads up action, which is okay. Oh, he's actually giving me heads up action. That being said, I don't really want to play heads up. I would rather show you guys some 6-max. So I'm gonna just open another table and replace the heads up one. Let me do this quite fast. Where is it? It's this one. Okay, gonna fold this and then sit out next big blind here on the heads up table, or you don't even see it anymore. And one last steal on the heads up, we get it. And I'm not gonna play heads up. I hate heads. Honestly, I don't even like playing heads up. I think it's kind of boring. I'm always hitting like fishes heads up, obviously, for obvious reasons. But versus a reg, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a good reg for me not to wanting to sit him heads up, I guess. Okay, so replace that table. Oh, yes, guys, limping. Okay, don't limp. As a general thing. Queen 5 off, not gonna open. Ace King, pretty strong hand. Let's open it. Come on, give me some resistance. A 3-bet would be sweet. Nope, just to walk. Okay. Okay, this guy's... yes, this guy's mad. And he's sitting out, and we are back to the heads up. Yeah, I guess the games are starting to die out again. Really at night times there's not a lot running. There's also nothing I can really replace it with besides one 10 NL table. Once again having that question, should I show heads up or should I show 10 and 0? I'm gonna just go with the 10 and 0, I think. I'm also not sure. Is he gonna keep sitting me? He just wants to battle. And I guess we could battle him. I'm just kind of assuming that people would rather want to see a 6 max 10 and 0 game than a heads up game. Thinking. I mean, this guy's playing so nitty. Let's play him a bit heads up. Maybe someone else will sit us. He's playing so super nitty. I'm just gonna roll over him probably. If someone is overfolding like that and heads up, you should just min raise and just open a ton of hands. Like, he's definitely folding too many hands versus like manually min sizing. Hope he's and he's also 3xing. It's also pretty questionable. I'm probably gonna call a 3-bet because I've just stolen so often and I think he's gonna 3-bet here pretty wide. We're also a bit deeper, which doesn't really hurt a suited connected hand. So I'm gonna see a flop here. Oh, don't do that. Don't do what he just wrote in the chat. That's not really something you do. Yep, as said, gonna defend this. Extremely awful flop. I'm not gonna win this hand. Yep. So yeah, I guess let's take a bit to the heads up streets. Because like the only 10 and L table that's running that also only has 3 people, so including me that would be 4 people, so it's not even full 6 max. Just gonna check and then bluff river here actually. It's a bit of an overbluff to take queen high and bluff, but okay, here we have a pretty easy value bet on a turn. With our top pair. I expect a lot of calls. And I'm just gonna check back this river. Really are gonna lead into the guy that easily could have a flush. Okay. Just gonna fold. He has ace queen high with the ace of diamonds and leads for min. I guess nice bluff. But showing that hand is really not good because now I know you're capable of doing that and I'm not gonna fold versus your small sizings anymore. I'm just gonna flat you versus pot size open. Right here, this is a somewhat close spot with the jack 10. I don't mind squeezing, I don't mind calling, I don't mind folding. I'm gonna fold it. Actually, I'm gonna flat it. But yeah, it's pretty marginal. Here, pretty easy call with the king queen of clubs, no reason to raise. We flopped a 2 pair. I'm tempted to lead just by the nature of my hand, but I won't because it's really not a board I really want to lead. Also, yeah. We're really not that happy here. So Skydreamer bets small again. We're just gonna call. Pretty bad sizing by him, like pretty weird. Turn shouldn't really change a lot. Just gonna bet around $4 here into like 2 weakish players. Gonna call again for his min bets. And reverse a 4 straight, but not really a scary one. Poker definitely on the tilted side, so I'm not gonna fold my flush here ever. He bets 50 again. I mean, we're just gonna see what he has now. I mean, he just bluffed last time. I mean, this line is pretty outrageous. We're gonna call for 2 pairs, see what he has. Happens to have the ace queen again, betting for no reason on river, so yeah, that's definitely not good. Let's make a note of that. Small bets with super thin value and mergey bluffy type of things. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not betting that river with that hand, by the way. That's pretty bad. Right here, I mean, he could easily have a better hand. We're just gonna check the pocket 3s, go for our showdown. Pocket 5s win. That's fine. Gonna keep on opening a lot of hands here in the heads up match. Also gonna try to look for 6 max table, but oh, here's something running. 4 guys and a 10 and L table. As I stated, I'm gonna 3-bet here in the heads up. Pretty strong hand in a heads up scenario. This is also pretty strong in a heads up scenario. Get 3-bet. We could consider default, but at this stacked up I would rather just flat. And let's try to flop a set. Couldn't do it. We're gonna call one. This guy's pretty nitty post flop. He checks. That's interesting. We're gonna check it back. Yeah, there's like some argument made for protection. So 1/3ing the flop is not awful, but I think he's gonna check a decent bit of better hands. So I don't really want to cut myself with those hands. That's not really a good turn. He could definitely have some 10x. We're gonna go into check down mode here. Our hand could certainly be good. And we at least have the 9 as an out, I suppose. That's not really a good river if there's an 8 as a speed now. We're just gonna check down now. Hope to beat some ace highs. And pocket 6s. Okay. Would that hand call a flop 1/3? I'm not sure. I don't know. Pretty strong hand in the heads up scenario. Easily gonna call a 3-bet or 4-bet it. I'm just gonna call the 3-bet. He just 3-bet pocket 6s, which was kind of interesting. We're just gonna check this back, this flop. He could certainly once again check some better hands, and we don't need as much protection with this hand, and yeah. Turn is kind of interesting. If he delays c-bets now, it's kind of scary. Yeah, and he bombs it. I'm just gonna fold versus the bomb. It's really a pretty bizarre sizing. I mean, it kind of looks like 9-8 suited for the most part. And it probably honestly even is. Sophie has been playing pretty transparent post-flop. What didn't really require rocket science to figure out what he had. 6-7, I'm probably gonna 3-bet. Really gonna give me another walk? No. Gonna go ahead and 3-bet the 6-7. Get another fold. And another fold. Yeah, this guy's playing way too tight. The ace-6, I mean I just 3-bet him a few times. I'm just gonna take it a bit easier and call this time. Flop an ace, generally good. If he puts in more than 2 streets, we are pretty fucked here. Pretty easy turn bet. Not a lot to say. Purely for value. Versus Queen X. He just snap folds. Okay, maybe we got some protection, like at least a tiny bit. Easy open with an ace. Gonna check fold to flop. If we want thirds, I'm tempted to peel 1. Nope, not versus a dollar. Pretty big bet on that texture, by the way. It's okay, it's like not awful, I would say. All those 3x opens and heads up, that's like not that good. I probably should have stolen with the Jack-6 to be quite honest. I've been going quite hammy. Am I gonna squeeze again? Yeah, I actually think I will. For the ducks, I'm just gonna call it the ducks. Nice result, easy fold. With fourth pair on the flop, I'm not really gonna get into a lot of peeling. Gonna steal the Jack-deuce. I'm just gonna steal a ton of hands. He's not giving me nearly enough resistance. I might steal 100% honestly versus this guy. And then I'm gonna fold these with 2 steals because he's also stealing pretty tight. Yeah. I don't have a hut here, which obviously is not that great, but you can't. They are like not allowed here. Sky Dreamer probably gonna limp. Nope, okay. Versus J-Poker, if he 3-bets, I'm gonna peel. Interesting flop. With the backdoor flush, I'm gonna opt to c-bet and take him off his under pairs. And take him off some other hands, like 6-7. Which is a reasonable result for our hand. We don't really need to c-bet big there to achieve what we want to achieve, so I'm just gonna c-bet for half pot to achieve what I want to achieve. That's more than enough. Just gonna steal a lot versus this guy's set. And the king is certainly qualifying to steal. He calls. Without a club in my hand, I'm just gonna take it easy. And check it back. We turn a 6, that's not too bad. As we know, he's defending not a lot pre-flop, which makes his range stronger to get to the flop, so I'm generally gonna shut down a lot post flop, and now we just have an easy check down. That's a pretty good river. Obviously, we can potentially even raise this. Yeah, he pots it though. He's kind of polarizing himself too. The question is, does he like bet call hand like ace deuce? I'm not confident that he does, so I'm just gonna flat it. 8-5, so he just has the nuts. Nice hand, and we lose the minimum there. But pretty unfortunate runner for us. 3-betting here. Gonna call his min lead here. Pretty bad to min lead here, but whatever. Not a good turn. Easy fold for us, even for his small sizing. Even though we could be drawing live, it's really not that good of a spot. That's interesting. So in a heads-up scenario, we're definitely gonna go for value here. There's not a lot of incentive to do anything else. We are going to bet our hands. Yep. If he raises the flop, it's gonna get ugly. Calls, turn is super, really good. Huge brick. Gonna bet again versus Jack X mainly. Gonna bet a sizing, which Jack X will always call, which he still makes a mistake with his draws, and we set up a good river shove, which should be $9. 18, yep, seems fine. To bet roughly around $9 here. Calls, and river is the best card in the deck basically, besides I guess a king, and a king wouldn't even be that good I guess. It's really a good run out. So we're gonna fake tank a bit here, and then we're gonna chip it. And gonna hope that he didn't run into like ace-4 of clubs or something. There's an argument made to check to induce, but this guy is really not that aggro, so versus him, we're just gonna chip it. He's not aggro posed, so not bluffing a lot, but he's decently stationary, so don't expect him to fold a jack ever. There you go. Win a sweet 3 buy-in pot there. Questions, will he still sit us heads up now? Good chance he doesn't, but he does, that's good. Keep on playing me. Don't mind if I do. Honestly, I'm gonna steal 100% versus him. Just gonna print. Pocket 5s, you can 3-bet, you can call. I'm just gonna take it easy. While I sip a bit. Oh, that's a good hand. You always want to think, if you size up for, like, for example on the turn, you always want to think what's the SPR going to be on the river. And if it's going to be a good SPR to shove, for example. I'm honestly going to steal 100% of my hands versus him. Like, he's just too nitty. Obvious 3-bet with the pocket kings. 6-10 suited, gonna be a defend even for 3x, even with break being kind of high. Kings get a call, pretty good texture. I can 1/3, I probably will 1/3. Gonna bet 199. He might raise us because he's a self-form player. We block king 8 suited, not really a thing, not really important. We're gonna just, once again, we're gonna size up so we can shove river. So if we bet around $5, there will be around 20 in, and we're gonna have around 18 left effectively. So I want to size up a bit more. I'm gonna size up to around 6. Don't think he will ever fold in like 10s or 9s or jacks. Pocket queens get there. If he has queens, so be it. Or if he has hand like ace queen that somehow decided to double peel. Or like hand like queen jack of clubs that decided to double peel. Sure, go ahead. I still kind of don't think he folds 10s or 9s. If he has quads, he's gonna stack us. And yeah, we're gonna value shove this hand. Oh, we still beat, what am I talking about? We still beat ace queen and queen jack. I don't know why, just said that. He has quads by snap. Yep, quads. Okay, nice call preflop with 4-8 suited. Calls, 3-bets, BB versus cutoff with 4-8 suited, and just casually flops the quaddies. Right here we don't want to play the sand in a multi-way setup, so I'm just gonna fold this. I would call a lot here, but not heads up. Not in a 3-way situation. Yeah. So on the river, I don't know why I just said that. Like, we are worried about ace queen. We're obviously not. I was getting a bit confused there, but queens get there if he happens to have queens, which also could fall bet, so it's a bit like less likely. Then that's it. And that's okay. That's an interesting flop. We could check it, but honestly, as this player profile, I'm just gonna bet, get the value. I don't expect to get bluff raised here a lot. And there's certainly a ton of hands that can call us there. And on river, I mean, the only hands that beat us at that point are like aces that didn't fall bet pre, which is like super unlikely, queens that didn't fall bet pre and didn't raise earlier, which I'm kind of assuming queens, like from a weaker player, raise earlier sometimes. And quads. And quads, yeah, obviously if there's quads, we're gonna get stacked. So we're gonna get stacked there every time. There's no way not to get stacked there. That's just what you call a cooler. Easy open, easy call versus 3-bet. Just gonna check the flop. Look at his c-bet sizing and potentially peel. Yeah, for that sizing I'm gonna peel. Turn is interesting. He will definitely barrel this turn a decent bit. We're gonna hit the king also a decent bit. I think I'm actually gonna peel this again. I don't think his jack X are generally barreling here. I don't think he's gonna follow through on the river a ton, so I think this is gonna be a profitable peel. And we also have a nut gutter hand. Our queen might be an out, our ace might be an out. Now we're just gonna check. Some of his bluffs just got there. And yeah, I'm not gonna call the river. I think if he triple barrels here, I'm gonna give him credit for that. But yeah, sometimes we just win. Sometimes we didn't have to hit it. Yeah, I'm just gonna give him credit for the triple barrel there. I could fold turn, but he has shown that he's like somewhat aggressive post flop. I still don't think he's aggressive enough to call the triple barrel, so I won't. Yeah. 4-8 suited, huh? Classic 4-8 suited. Classic flops the quaddies. Interesting flop. I'm gonna just 1/3 it. For protection and value. He calls. Turn is a good card for him. I'm gonna check it back, realize my leftover equity, and sometimes just win on river. That's a relatively good river. I'm just gonna check and take showdown. He just has a7. That's okay. No reason to bet the river, no reason to bet the turn. Easy 3-bet with ace jack for value. If he 4-bets, it's a pretty easy fold. He has not shown to get anywhere near out of line pre-flop, so yeah. As said, I'm gonna just steal 100% versus him. He's just folding so much. Nine 4 suited, somewhat close versus a 3x open. Versus a nitty guy, I'm just gonna fold the 9-4 suited and defend the 9-5 suited for 3x. But yeah, as you see, I mean, I would defend the 1 notch higher hand. So it's like really close. 4-5 off will be a fold, okay. Didn't get to focus too much on the post ups. I guess I focused a bit on the post up sizing, so would have loved to focus more on it. But yeah. Oh, I'm gonna defend here versus 2 fishy guys. Limps, isolates, okay. 8-3. Okay, we're gonna go for the check raise on the flop. Pretty good situation. We're gonna just check back, realize our equity, and we could just have the best hand. You know? Just gonna check raise the turn still. Easy fold to a pot size bet. Sky Dreamer is definitely okay. Interesting. That's kind of weird. I'm just gonna bet half pot. I expect a decent bit of pure calls here, and still some raises. Okay. I expect hero calls from hands like queens or jacks. And you know, no, that wasn't the hand. Where was the hand? He had King high. No, he had the 7, so like bottom pair. Gonna keep on stealing 100% of range. Gonna 3-bet this well versus a fishier guy. Definitely want to play. Like, he has shown us that he's not folding a lot versus 3-bets. So I guess maybe this is like an argument not to 3-bet so white, like as 10-8 suited, and just go more linear and value-y. Oh god, that's an interesting spot. I'm actually gonna peel this. 350 into 16, so we get like over 4 to 1, nearly 5 to 1. Yes, we're out of position to both, that sucks. We get like about 5 to 1. Repent, that flops relatively well if it flops something. That's something. I'm gonna lead shove it in, I think. Basically, I want them to fold their ace highs, which I do think happens if I lead shove. They're never gonna fold an overpair. I'm always gonna get the money in on the flop with an overpair anyways. So I actually think I'm just gonna lead shove this. Just to fold out ace highs potentially, and if he calls me with ace high, we have like a ton of equity. Yep. Obviously a good result. I mean, it's really exploitative. I would never do that with a good hand, but I mean, I have like kind of a good hand, right? I have like a super good draw there. Gonna 3-bet the queen 10 suited, gonna go somewhat linear here, pretty good hand, wanna get the value, don't think he's gonna 4-bet me anywhere near enough to not make this profitable. He's also folding a ton versus 3-bets in general. Ace king, now you can 3-bet me. No, just folds. That's why we open 100% though. I mean, he's just not winning any pots. He's just not winning any pots. What the fuck is he doing? That's getting kind of outrageous here. Look at the garbage hands I'm stealing with. I mean, I'm literally stealing 100%. I won't fold a single hand pre-flop. Calls, we have a pair, we're gonna go into check down mode. Could bet 1/3, but would rather do it with a bit of a bad hand. If he leads turn, I'm actually gonna value raise this. Yeah, he pots it again. I'm gonna value raise this. Gonna hope he gets somewhat stubborn. We obviously have a really good hand. He just folds. I mean, if he folds like an open ender there, he folds a bunch of equity and that's fine. We can get a lot of value from draws and we can definitely get some value from like Jack 10 type of hands. So this is supposed to be a call versus 3x, but he's like opening so nitty and the overcut underplay plays extremely terrible. And given that the rake is somewhat high, I'm not gonna defend this garbage hand. But I'm gonna open this garbage hand. He was always snap folds, like it's like he's not even thinking about it. 9-4 once again, would defend 9-5, won't defend 9-4. Don't have to if I get a walk. That's really like so easy to win heads up if your opponent is doing this and just folding every hand. First hand you win, eh? Easy defend with the pocket 5s. Flop's gonna be close-ish. Queen 8 off versus a 3x, easy fold. I'm actually gonna lead the turn for a really small sizing for protection and value because I think his range is still somewhat wide even though he's pretty nitty. And I don't want to check call, I just want to get some protection value. Yes, I'm cutting myself with 7x and 6x in certain hands, but I also do think there's some value and certainly a bit of protection to be gained from this. Check check versus 9-8 pot there. Okay. 5 would have been a bit of an outrageously bad roll. Okay, hopefully we get 3. I mean, I'm not hoping for a 3-bet here, but at least I can easily call. Flop is somewhat interesting. I'm gonna just see what I have pot. I have some backdoors and easy fold. Oh, he's picking up some hands, picking up some steam. That's okay. Just gonna wait until we have a good hand. And then stack him. We are not gonna get involved in some marginal spots versus a nitty guy at all. We're just gonna keep on running him over. There's like no chance we're gonna get out of line versus him. Either he's picking up some hands or he's like sick of me just running him over. Both things are certainly possible. Maybe the lead shove with the 8-10 suited kind of reminded me a bit of PLO. It was a bit of a PLO-y hand. If he 3-bets me again, I'm actually suspecting him to have picked up on the fact that I'm just running him over like fuck. I'm gonna actually c-bet this for around 40. For like protection and value, and to realize my equity over 2 streets. That's a good result. Just don't think he's gonna fight back a lot. Queen 10, once again, gonna 3-bet. Hand plays extremely well post flop. This is his nitty style. I'm actually gonna just check fold this flop. And I'm gonna keep on check folding. And if he happens to win with king high, that's life. It happens. Maybe we win, you know, you never know. Maybe we just chop, win. Maybe he has like jack 9 suited. Just doesn't want to bluff. That's a possibility. He has king high and wins. I mean, that's just gonna happen sometimes inherently. I'm not gonna bluff the queen high there. Here, pretty easy call versus the c-bet. I'm kind of worried already, but yeah, gonna call once and then fold. Interesting flop. I want to c-bet it for roughly around half pot. And obviously barrel on hearts. This is really a bad river. Probably gonna lose a lot on this river. Chop it up. That's not a hand you want to c-bet for such a big sizing. Pretty big mistake, I'd say. We're just gonna check here. The 9 is generally a better cut for him. And yeah. We were taking our shot on the flop, and we definitely had some turns we would have barreled, and some good turns. I still think he has a ton of like pocket 10s, pocket queens, which are not gonna fold the river. He's never gonna fold a king. I just don't think he's gonna fold a whole lot. And there's a chance we win. Like, it's a really low chance, but I don't even know if there really is a chance we win. I mean, if he checks back queen 10, yeah. Just gonna check. No reason to bluff the tilted, fishy, stationy guy at all. Easy fold. Kind of interesting that he checks back turn and decides to no bet river. Maybe we got bluffed off the best hand there. Possible. Possible. Opening this, obviously 4-betting if he 3-bets. I hope for 3-bet. Easy flop c-bet. Actually wanna size up versus the more fishier guy. I think he's pretty inelastic to c-bet sizing, so could probably size up even more. Like, I probably could almost pot it here because he's so inelastic. He's never gonna fold a jack, he's never gonna fold a hand like ace 10 or ace queen. He's always gonna fold his rubbish hands, so that's called him being inelastic to the c-bet sizing, and we can basically with our value part of range just size up, extract more value that way. And with our bluff part of range, we can just size down because it doesn't really matter how big we size because he's just gonna fold anyways, the parts that will fold. That's like the kind of the theory, that's kind of what inelastic to sizings means. Anyways, we're just gonna check here, try to pick up a good turn. That's a pretty good turn. I'm definitely gonna barrel it. Maybe gonna double barrel on non-spades. I'm gonna call here, a lot of equity, and sometimes best hand. That's not a good river. And on the 3, on the spade, like the spade definitely hits his range. Sometimes he's never gonna fold an ace. So we're just gonna check and take showdown. Yes, the 8. I'm not sure if the 8 folds river. It probably does. Here we're just gonna take showdown with the ace 6 and lose the top pair. Reasonable. I'm gonna fold once in a while here because I've just shown him that I've opened 6-3 offsuited. So I think he might give us more resistance now. So I'm gonna fold now sometimes to give him like the illusion that we also fold sometimes with him. So the table is somewhat breaking. Here we have, okay, let's definitely play this pot. Flop good, that's not good. That's pretty bad. So the video is already like about 40 minutes long. Gonna cut it here soon. Actually gonna sit out next big blind at all tables. Defending the ace 8 off. Check folding flop. Also not really getting into a ton of cool situations right now. Turn a pretty weak gut shot. We still have the best hand here sometimes. Rabel doesn't want to sit us heads up again. So I don't think he has a king. I don't think he has a jack a lot. I'm gonna step the river actually for roughly around $1. I think this will get through a lot. We do have some showdown value and there's definitely an overbluff in theory. I just think this is gonna get through a lot. Where's J Poker? Actually, he's not gonna fold a lot. I've 3-bet him before in these positions and he didn't fold ace-2 suited, so I'm not gonna 3-bet this hand. Get 3-bet. We're a bit deeper. It's a pretty playable hand. It sets up. I'm gonna call. We flop a pair. We're hoping he checks. He bets, we fold. Easy. Okay. This kind of wrapped things up. This was the 4th part of the 4-part video series on TonyBet. I hope you enjoyed it, while I get ditched at heads up tables. As I've said in the videos earlier, if you're interested in private coaching, try to contact me via like the YouTube comments or via the PokerVIP personal messages. I'm pretty affordable, what's it called? Prices. I don't charge a whole ton. It's definitely affordable for microstake players. It's basically coaching tailored for microstake players to get out of the microstakes and to reach 50 NL basically. So if you're like at 5 NL, 10 NL, or 25 NL, contact me. I hope you will be back for my next video series. And maybe you like TonyBet, go ahead, try it out. On PokerVIP there's like a deposit code, I think it's called Starter, all in caps. Yeah. Go ahead, check it out. I do like the site so far. I'm definitely going to put in some volume here over the next 2 months and see what comes out there. So far, really happy with the quality of players. Definitely like skill level pretty low. 50 NL has like, I don't know, there's constantly 2 fishes at the table at 50 NL, and yeah. Haven't tried out 100 NL yet. Maybe we'll jump in there in the next few days, maybe not. Kind of depends on like if there's a hot table or not. Anyways, that's about it. Have a nice grind and peace out.